Shalom. Allah start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing this truth across four corners of the earth in all faith, truth, and sincerity. It's Amawan Abad back again with that sitting. That's one going to, about, how, these food shortages, is coming about. It's gonna come a time here in America, Babylon the Great, where it's gonna affect a lot of businesses and restaurants and so forth, and stores. It's gonna be a lack of food, all right, because of the situation that's going on in Iran with the Strait of Hormuz. It's still not open. It's gonna affect a lot of people. Going forward, and like I said, the stores and so forth, and it's gonna be some decisions, some tough decisions gonna be made, far as do I get this bread, or do I get this pack of bologna or whatever, right? Pack of beef, bologna, turkey meat, or do I get this milk or water, So, it's it's gonna be tough decisions, right? Got to make, either I get this or that, because the food price is gonna continue to skyrocket. I don't see, it's not looking like it's gonna slow down either. Like I said, but a lot of people gonna have to make a lot of tough decisions about, what foods they gotta get, and try to lower their way of buying, going out to eat. I say that that gonna slow down. People gonna have to figure out, try to just go buy some canned goods, something to where it's gonna keep hold them for some days, because the prices of food and so forth, bread, water, all that's gonna go up, man. It's gonna continue to skyrocket with the situation that's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, and over there in Iran, so the times ahead is gonna get real tough. But loyal shy, he gonna have his elect, those that believe in him, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be protected. They're not gonna hunger. The men of the Lord that that teach the truth of the word loyal shy is gonna be taken care of. So, but those that not are of that number, excuse me, those that are not of the righteous number is going to have to deal with the judgment loyal shy, and hopefully I'm part of the righteous number to have mercy by loyal shy in these times going forward. So you see on the screen here, I'm not gonna read no article, just going through. I just looked up food shortages in the U.S. This was 3 weeks ago. It said farmers warn of food price spike as war drives up fuel and fertilizer costs. It says looming food crisis, why the Strait of Hormuz is disrupting global agriculture. So this is a global thing too. Like I say, it's gonna affect here in America, Babylon the Great too. It's gonna, it's gonna get bad, man. It's, like I say, it's not gonna get no better. It's gonna get worse, man, as we go forward. Because the prophecies of the Bible, of the word of the Lord, got to come to pass. The word of the Lord, Yahweh words got to come to pass, man. It's got to happen. But the times of that coming is gonna be, it's gonna be some, second Ezra's say Exodus 15, right? you know, uh, for the great tribulation, and the lack of food, you have people, robbing their neighbors for food, you know, so that's how how crazy it's gonna get, But reading going some more of this. Let's see. It said BBC said BBC higher prices could last for 8 months after Iran war. Minister says, So I said these prices is not gonna stop. It's not gonna go down for a while, man. It said clock is ticking. Hormuz disruption raises fears of global food crisis. So that's that's the situation, man. And, it's gonna lead to chaotic situations in here in America, Babylon the Great. In other countries as well. But here in America, Babylon the Great. You're gonna have people out here like I said, they're gonna do what they gotta do to survive, rob, steal, kill, whatever. And it's it's gonna get real. It's gonna get real out here, man. It's gonna get tough, man. It's gonna get real tough, man. It's gonna be a lot of tough decisions that people got to make, and they got to make it to survive. They're gonna do what they got to do to survive, man. And like I said, Lord Yahushua, me myself first and foremost. Hopefully, like I say, and those that believe Lord Yahushua, that hopefully you got to be a part of the number, man. Righteous number to have a hedge of protection by Lord Yahushua in these times going forward, man. And Lord Yahushua have mercy, because it's gonna get serious going forward, man. But I'll get some scriptures to back this up. This is Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So the Lord Yahushua going to send, the famine upon America, Babylon the Great. And a lot of death and destruction is gonna come upon this place. The lack of food, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna drive people crazy. Because these people here in America, Babylon the Great, they can't go 24 hours without food. Without no food or water, right? You got most people in America, Babylon the Great, they don't fast. They don't fast for a day, 2 or more. Those they could do more than a day fast. And go over more than a day. But you have most Americans in Babylon Great, they gotta have something to eat down near every hour, right? Most Americans here in America, here Babylon Great are obese. Cause like I said, they these fast food restaurants and so forth, they could DoorDash shit to them, DoorDash, and they ain't gotta get up and go get the food or whatever, right? It's just a lot of unhealthy foods in the stores and so forth. These restaurants and all that fast food restaurants that ain't healthy. Now that's some healthy option restaurants, or places that you could go, but for the most part, a lot of these places, fast food restaurants and McDonald's and shit like that, are unhealthy, and a lot of people still eating that shit, even with the, what's in that mystery meat, what's in that meat, but folks they don't care, but it's gonna get to a point where all these proud people in America, Babylon the Great, these women, especially, 2/3, I say, especially so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelite women, they love to eat, they love to eat. So when the food shortage, lack of food comes about, when lack of food in the stores or restaurants closing down, you can't go to your nearest restaurants, where it may be, because they ain't no they ain't got the stuff coming in. No trucks ain't gonna come in because they ain't got the the bread or so forth ain't coming in, right? To make your sandwiches or whatever, right? The meat, and so forth, right? Even in the stores, right? You're gonna see the lack of food and stuff in the stores, and the high prices of it too. You gonna have people out here going to rob. People gonna run out the store and and take what they want because they be like, man, I ain't paying for no $20 of bread or whatever it may be. If it get to that point, $20 for just a loaf of bread, man. Sheesh, it's that's tough, man. That's one item. Imagine all the other items, right? In the store, if it gets to that point, people gonna be like, man, forget that. I'm just gonna take this and run out the store. It's gonna get chaotic out here, man. That it could probably get to that point. We'll see. Bread could probably get up to $20. $15, $20. It get to a point where like one item is 15, a bread, and then you got like, dang, I gotta eat something with it. Gotta get the meat, and the meat might be $20 too, $15, $20, something like that or more. And meat prices could go up. You be like, man, shit. You gotta make a decision. Or you just gonna be like, man, shit. Everybody gonna be like, hey, we gotta just run out the store with this stuff. But it's gonna get chaotic, man. That's how bad. Lord, hey, Y'all watching outside. Ain't nothing to play no games. It's a power to be feared, man. And those, these people here in America, Babylon the Great is gonna feel it. Going forward, man, they're gonna feel it. A lot of people gonna be out here hungry, starving. Gonna be out here. Cannibalism gonna come about. They're gonna be eating. Eating people. People gonna be eating people. That's how bad it's gonna get, man. But let me see. So I'm gonna go from there. Okay, I'm going to next verse. Ezekiel 5:17. So will I send upon you, so will I send upon you famine and evil, and an evil beast. Read it again. Ezekiel 5:17. So will I send upon you famine and evil beast, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, shall have spoken it. So that's what's gonna come about. The most, Yahweh Yahshua is gonna send that famine and evil beast. It's gonna be, the scriptures talking about newly created beast. Newly created, beast. They're gonna have, beasts or animals, wild animals or something like that. You probably ain't seen before. It's gonna come and kill a lot of you proud people here in America. Babylon the Great. Gonna kill a lot of you people here in America. Babylon the Great. You're gonna get judged by these, newly created beasts, wild animals. That's gonna come about. I say the famine. The pestilences, the different diseases. That's gonna be out here, man. From it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna have, if the economy, it's gonna get so bad, and like say, you're gonna have probably where, the people that pick up your trash and garbage like that, not gonna stop coming. They're gonna probably start coming. They're gonna have piles of trash in the street and then this and that, and it's gonna cause diseases, like that. From it, like trash not getting picked up, and so forth. And different diseases coming about. It's it's gonna get real bad out here in America. Babylon the Great. The future is not good. The future is evil times. Very evil times, bad times. And like I said, Lord Yahweh is gonna bring it upon America, Babylon the Great. A lot of people not gonna be, not paying attention to the warning signs now before it gets really out of control. You know. But the apostles and the elders and the brother and great millstone, week in and week out, telling you, warning you, especially so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites, hey, better repent, to Lord Yahushua, be destroyed. But it was only the elect is gonna do it and believe and take heed to the warning, But like saying in these times going forward, me myself first and foremost, and those that believe, better hope to be of that righteous number, because if not, better hope to be a part of that, 144,000 to 1/3 of the number, of that righteous number of Israelites, to have mercy by Lord Yahushua in these times, and going forward, because that's how serious it's gonna get, man. People may laugh and still have fun and party bullshit now or whatever, but it's gonna come to a point. Ain't gonna be no smiling and no more partying bullshit. It's gonna be you're gonna be out here trying to. It's gonna be survival mode for real. Like you're gonna have to go out here, with a backpack behind your, with a backpack, and you're gonna have to, get the moving, get the, running, moving. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how bad it's gonna get. You have to, defend for your life. People out here gonna do what they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna have no feelings. And we know it's time now. Love of men waxing cold. People out here, killing their parents and so forth. And out here killing each other more. There's a lot of more violence. It's gonna get more violent out here. So how much more when the food stop shortages, come about, lack of food. Yeah. Gonna get real wild, I say, and I say the Lord Yahushua, gonna bring the martial law troops in. You're gonna have people out here, getting killed in the streets. All the martial law troops taking the concentration camps, getting killed in the concentration camps, by the guillotines. And then ultimately, like the Lord Yahushua returning, the so-called UFO, the chariots, and bringing the wrath and judgment down upon this place, America, Babylon the Great, by the laser beams, and ultimately the thermonuclear missiles being shot towards America, Babylon the Great, everything here being destroyed. So, only one, like I said, only one's gonna have mercy is the elect, and be delivered by, be delivered and have mercy by Lord Yahushua, and to not, have to face his rapid judgments. He's gonna bring upon America, Babylon the Great, and upon, those that ain't right, 2/3 Israelites and the rest of these Americans, Babylonians, here in America. So, and the Lord Yahushua, the Lord Yahushua words is gonna come to pass, man. And it's not gonna slack. It's not gonna hold up. It's it's just gonna be happening, man. It's gonna be real reality for a lot of people. That hey, we really in some serious times, and it ain't gonna get no better. So I ain't gonna make this long. I didn't want to make this too long, so hope this was edifying. Again, I like it about praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakadash, to the apostle elders, to the Sisakim brothers, to the few Akwaf, sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting that say Shalom.